Diane found him on a Wednesday in January. She had gone outside to check the mailbox and almost stepped on him. He was pressed against the side of the porch stairs in the narrow gap between the steps and the foundation, a black and white cat, completely still, with snow caught in his fur in small white clumps that had not melted. He looked up at her with yellow eyes that were alert in the specific way of an animal that has been cold for a long time and is conserving everything it has left. Diane stood there for a moment. Then she went inside and got a towel. She did not own a cat. She had not planned to own a cat. She had a spare bedroom that she used as a home office and a schedule that was full and a perfectly reasonable life that did not have an obvious space in it for a half-frozen stranger she had found next to her mailbox in January. She picked him up anyway. He did not fight her. He did not make a sound. He let her wrap the towel around him and carry him inside, and he stayed completely still against her chest the entire way through the door, as if he had already made a decision about this and did not need to reconsider it. She set him down on the bathroom floor with the towel and turned the heat up and went to find something he could eat. She came back with a can of tuna she had been saving for something else. He ate the entire thing in 4 minutes. She sat on the floor and watched him eat and did not say anything. There was nothing that needed to be said. He ate. She stayed. That was enough for the moment. A neighbor named Carol saw the post about him on the neighborhood app that evening. She said, "That is the cat from the abandoned house on Orchard Street. He has been out there for at least 3 weeks." Diane read this and looked at Ace and thought about 3 weeks in January. She did not let herself finish that thought. She took him to the vet the next morning. He was underweight, mildly dehydrated, and had a small ear infection that had not yet become serious. The vet said he was approximately 2 years old and in reasonable condition given what he had apparently been through. She asked if Diane was keeping him. Diane said she had not decided yet. The vet did not push it. She had worked with enough people who said that to know it usually meant the opposite. She had decided. She just had not caught up to the decision yet. On the drive home from the vet, Ace sat in the carrier on the passenger seat and was completely quiet. Diane talked to him the whole way. She told him about the apartment. She told him about the windowsill and the kitchen that got afternoon light. She told him she did not really know what she was doing, but that she was going to figure it out. She is not sure how much of this he understood. She is fairly sure he was listening. If you are still watching and have not subscribed yet, Ace spent 3 weeks outside in January before Diane found him. There are animals outside right now in conditions like that. Hit subscribe. Ace would want you to know that sometimes the difference is one person checking the mailbox. The first week was an exercise in patience on both sides. Ace stayed in the bathroom for the first 2 days, eating steadily and sleeping in long, uninterrupted stretches that suggested he had been very tired for a long time. Diane sat on the bathroom floor with him every evening after work, not doing anything in particular, just being there. On the 3rd day, he moved out of the bathroom on his own and conducted a thorough inspection of the apartment. He had opinions about the furniture. He established the couch as his primary daytime position, the foot of the bed as his nighttime position, and the windowsill above the kitchen sink as his observation post for the yard. He moved between these locations with the settled authority of an animal who had decided this arrangement was acceptable and was not open to renegotiation. The windowsill turned out to be exactly the afternoon light windowsill Diane had told him about on the drive home. She noticed this. She did not say anything about it. The snow incident happened in February. Diane had stepped outside to clear the walkway and left the door slightly open by accident. Ace came out behind her and stood on the pavement and looked at the snow in the yard. Not the anxious surveillance of an animal that is frightened, the calm assessment of one that is deciding something. He sniffed the air once, turned around, and walked back inside. Diane left the door open for another 30 seconds to make sure. He did not go back out. He had apparently decided that outside was something he had already done enough of. The nights changed slowly. The first week, he stayed at the foot of the bed. The second week, he moved to the middle. By the end of the third week, he had positioned himself directly next to her shoulder and was purring at a volume that Diane described to Carol as structural. Carol said that sounded about right for a tuxedocat. Diane did not know enough about tuxedocats to verify this, but she was not about to argue with the results. What she had not expected was the talking. Ace had opinions, and he communicated them specifically. A short sound when he wanted the window opened, a different sound when his bowl was empty, a third sound in the evening that Diane eventually decoded as a request for her to sit down somewhere he could get onto her lap. She started responding to all of them. It took about 2 weeks before she realized she had started narrating her own day to him as well, saying things out loud as she moved through the apartment, explaining where she was going and when she would be back. She did not decide to do this, it simply became the way she moved through the space. Carol told her she was being trained. Diane said she was aware. She did not say it like it was a problem. Carol came over to meet him in March. She had heard enough about Ace by that point that she said she needed to form her own opinion before she was willing to keep listening. Ace assessed her from the couch for approximately 4 minutes, then walked over and stepped directly onto her lap and began purring. Carol looked at Diane and said, "I see the problem." Diane said, "There is no problem." Carol said, "No, I can see that." She sent Carol a photo later that same week. It showed Ace on the couch with his head resting on her arm, looking at the camera with those yellow eyes and the complete composure of a cat who had found his place and had no remaining questions about it. Carol replied, "He looks like he has always lived there." Diane read it twice. The second time felt different from the first. Diane looked at the photo for a while after that. She thought about the gap next to the porch stairs. She thought about the snow caught in his fur. She thought about 3 weeks on Orchard Street in January and what it means that she went to check the mailbox on that particular Wednesday instead of waiting until Thursday. She thought about how many people had walked past that gap without looking down. She had walked past it herself, probably more than once, before the Wednesday it mattered. He is still there. He still sleeps next to her shoulder. He still makes the sound in the evenings when he wants her to sit down. Diane still sits down every time. She has not once made him ask twice. She does not intend to start. She still checks the mailbox every day. She has not stopped looking at the gap next to the stairs. Some things you do without deciding to do them. That is how you know they matter. If you found a cat pressed against your porch stairs in January, would you have picked him up? Tell me in the comments.